What's up, Marvel fans? Today we're diving into one of the darkest corners of the Marvel Universe to explore a villain so twisted, so terrifying, that even hardened heroes like Daredevil are left shaken. If you thought Thanos was scary or Carnage was disturbing, wait until you meet Muse, the psychopath who turns murder into art. Imagine a serial killer with superhuman abilities who believes murder is his canvas and blood is his paint. That's Muse in a nutshell. Let's explore 10 absolutely chilling facts about this nightmare of a villain. Number 1. His art is made from human blood and corpses. When Muse first appeared in Daredevil comics back in 2016, he announced himself to the world with something truly sickening: a massive mural painted entirely with human blood. And we're not talking about a few drops here. This monstrosity, which he titled Sanguinity, required the blood of over 100 victims. Just let that sink in for a second. 100 people drained their blood just so this psychopath could create his twisted masterpiece. The mural itself covered an entire wall of an abandoned warehouse in New York City, and when Daredevil first encountered it, even his hardened sensibilities were shaken. But Muse didn't stop at blood paintings. In later appearances, he took his art to even more disturbing places by creating life-size sculptures using the actual corpses of his victims. In one particularly horrifying case, he targeted Inhumans, people with special abilities in the Marvel Universe, and positioned their dead bodies in everyday poses throughout the city. He arranged them like mannequins in store windows, sitting at bus stops, or relaxing in parks, a grotesque statement about how he viewed their place in society. The most terrifying part? Muse approached these grisly displays with the calmness and consideration of a genuine artist, carefully positioning limbs and creating compositions as if working with clay instead of human remains. He viewed each murder not as a crime, but as gathering materials for his next masterpiece. Number 2. He's literally a walking sensory void. What makes Muse particularly dangerous is that he's nearly impossible to detect. He possesses a unique ability to absorb all sensory information around him, essentially becoming a walking void that can't be perceived normally. This power is particularly effective against Daredevil, whose entire crime-fighting style relies on his enhanced senses. Matt Murdock, as most fans know, is blind but sees through his other heightened senses. He can hear heartbeats from blocks away, smell distinctive scents, and perceive the world through a radar-like sense. But with Muse, all of that is useless. When confronting Muse, Daredevil described the experience as terrifying, like fighting against nothingness itself. There was no heartbeat to hear, no scent to track, no way to predict movements. In a world where Daredevil's powers give him an edge over almost everyone, Muse neutralizes his advantage completely. This ability doesn't just work on Daredevil either. Security cameras have trouble capturing his image clearly, witnesses have difficulty remembering his appearance, and even normal surveillance methods fail against him. It's as if he exists partially outside normal perception, a glitch in reality that makes him the perfect predator. Number 3. His physical abilities are off the charts. Beyond his stealth capabilities, Muse possesses superhuman physical attributes that make him a nightmare in combat. While many Marvel villains have enhanced strength, Muse combines his power with an artist's precision and a killer's instinct. His strength allows him to overpower trained fighters with ease. During his confrontations with Daredevil and other heroes, he's shown the ability to catch projectiles mid-air, including Daredevil's Billy Club thrown at full force. He can leap impressive distances, climb walls with minimal effort, and deliver strikes powerful enough to send heroes flying. But perhaps most impressive is his speed and agility. Muse can create his massive, detailed murals in incredibly short periods, suggesting that he works with a speed comparable to Spider-Man. Witnesses who survived his attacks reported that he moved like a blur, striking before they could even register danger. Combined with his sensory absorption abilities, these physical enhancements make Muse not just a dangerous killer, but a formidable physical threat that can go toe-to-toe with superheroes. And what makes this even more terrifying is how he channels these abilities not toward typical supervillain goals like world domination, but toward his twisted artistic vision. Number 4. He once broke his own fingers to avoid capture. Most villains will do anything to escape justice, but Muse takes this to extreme lengths. In one of the most shocking moments in his storyline, when Daredevil finally managed to subdue him and was about to place handcuffs on him, Muse did something unthinkable. He snapped his own fingers, breaking them completely. The pain would have been excruciating, but Muse barely reacted. By destroying his own hands, he made it impossible for Daredevil to restrain him effectively. This moment revealed something crucial about his character. His commitment to his art and his freedom to create it supersedes even his own physical well-being. This willingness to mutilate himself shows a level of detachment from physical pain that's deeply unsettling. Number 5. He blinded Daredevil's protege in a gruesome attack. One of Muse's most horrific acts targeted not Daredevil himself, but his student and protege, a young hero known as Blindspot. Born Samuel Chung, Blindspot was an undocumented immigrant who created his own invisibility suit and became a vigilante under Daredevil's mentorship. During a confrontation with Muse, something truly nightmarish happened. happened. In a moment of shocking brutality, Muse reached out and literally gouged out Blindspot's eyes. The attack wasn't just physically devastating. It carried a twisted poetic element that reveals Muse's deranged thinking. By blinding Daredevil's student, he created a cruel parallel to Daredevil's own blindness. But unlike Matt Murdock, who developed enhanced senses to compensate for his blindness, Blindspot had no such abilities. The attack left him completely blind and deeply traumatized, forcing him to abandon his heroic career and sending him into a spiral of depression and hopelessness. Number 6. The media called him Vincent Vanor. The press in Marvel's New York City, always quick with a headline, gave Muse a nickname that spread through the city like wildfire: Vincent Vanor. This dark play on Vincent Van Gogh's name perfectly captured the public's horrified fascination with this killer who viewed murder as high art. This nickname highlights something important about Muse: the way his crimes captivated public attention. Like many real-world serial killers, Muse's distinctive signature and artistic pretensions created a media frenzy. Van Gogh himself suffered from mental illness that influenced his work, though of course, unlike Muse, he never harmed others. By drawing this parallel, the media in Marvel's world unconsciously elevated Muse's crimes to a form of dark celebrity. Number 7. He chose death by fire rather than defeat. Muse's story came to a dramatic conclusion during a confrontation with a resurrected Blindspot, who had regained his sight through mystical means. Faced with defeat and the prospect of capture, Muse made a final, dramatic choice perfectly in keeping with his character. He walked deliberately into a raging fire, choosing to end his life rather than relinquish control of his story. As the flames consumed him, he lamented that the story should have been mine, revealing that to the very end, he viewed everything through the lens of artistic narrative. His death wasn't just a suicide. In his mind, it was his final artistic statement, a dramatic conclusion to his life's work that he controlled rather than allowing others to write his ending. Number 8. Death couldn't stop his influence. Most villains' stories end with their deaths, but Muse's influence continued beyond the grave in a truly disturbing way. After his fiery demise, his spirit or consciousness somehow latched onto a talented but struggling artist named Morgan Whittier. Through this spiritual possession or influence, Muse essentially created a successor, manipulating Whittier into continuing his legacy of murder as art. Under Muse's influence, Whittier began creating works disturbingly similar to Muse's original pieces, ultimately becoming a new incarnation of the killer artist. This posthumous manipulation reveals another dimension of Muse's evil. His ideas themselves are like a virus, capable of infecting vulnerable minds and perpetuating his brand of horror even after his physical form is gone. It suggests that Muse isn't just a person, but an idea, a dark philosophy that can spread and find new hosts. Number 9. Muse's terrifying MCU debut in Daredevil, Born Again. In March 2025, Daredevil, Born Again introduced Muse, one of the MCU's most chilling villains. Portrayed by Hunter Dewin, Muse is a masked serial killer who creates gruesome art using the blood of his victims, terrorizing Hell's Kitchen. Muse's abilities, including superhuman strength and the power to mask himself from sensory detection, make him a formidable adversary for Daredevil. His presence adds a psychological horror element to the series, pushing the boundaries of the MCU's storytelling. The character's arc culminates in a shocking confrontation, solidifying Muse as a standout villain in the Marvel Universe. Number 10. His philosophy makes him uniquely disturbing. What sets Muse apart from other Marvel villains is his disturbing belief that murder is a form of artistic expression. He sees his victims not as people, but as raw materials for his art, believing their lives only gain meaning through death. Unlike typical villains, Muse has no interest in power or revenge. He views himself as a creator giving purpose to a meaningless world. This makes him especially dangerous for Daredevil, who can't appeal to any shared morality. Muse operates entirely outside the bounds of conventional ethics, forcing both heroes and viewers to confront a villain who rejects the value of human life itself. So there you have it, 10 chilling facts about one of Marvel's most unsettling villains. Muse isn't terrifying just because of his body count, but because he makes us question the line between art and madness, morality and meaning. Unlike universe-level threats like Thanos or AI gone rogue like Ultron, Muse is disturbingly human, the kind of evil that could exist just beneath the surface of our own world.